Hey guys, so today what we're going to be going through is how to make a pickup, and I'm starting on this screen just here because I'm showing you that I've gone through and I've made a crystal that we're going to pick up and then turn that into a flipbook for us, okay? Um, but right now what we're doing is actually, I'm going to show you the process that I went through starting at save game. So we've got this save game here, and we're going to open this up. Once we've opened this up, we want to create a new variable, and we're going to call it crystal. Cool. We need to change that to an integer because this is always going to be a whole number, and you can see that you could also change it over here. Compile, save, and that's that actually done. I'm going to try to keep track of my different headings up here for you guys, just as a little different thing to try to make sure that when you go through and you'll see all of those up, you'll be like, all right, those are all the bits that I needed to tackle this programming session. So now if we minimize that, so we've got that, and this is going to be very similar. You can see here, it's in our pickups menu, and I just realized that most of my actual pickups are over here in blueprints. So we've got this here, and we're going to duplicate that, and we're going to call it crystal underscore pickup. And now we've got our crystal pickup, and we can open this one up here because this is the other one that we're going to be using. And we're not going to need any of these health code that we've put in there either. So we're casting to the side scroller character, and that's what we need. One other thing we're going to be working on at the moment, if we go back to viewport, and we need to get rid of that there, and we're also going to get rid of the box. So first thing we're going to do is add a component. I'm going to add our flip book and put that in there, and we're going to find our flip book, and it's going to be our crystal one that we've just made previously. We're going to make this a little bit bigger, so I might need to zoom in. Yep, make that a little bit bigger, and then we're also going to add component. I'm going to add our box collision, because no matter what, we are going to need well, are you going to let me go a little bit bigger than our actual crystal that we've got inside it. So no matter what, because we are going to need this to be relevant, and it's because I do get a little bit worried sometimes, because I've just created a new box, and sometimes it picks it up, sometimes it doesn't. So I'm just going to swap that over, and we're going to have that set up there. Now the beauty of this is that we can copy some of the code that we did last time. So if we move now to our level, we'll choose our level 2 load. So if I minimize this, and we go to save game, and we've got our level 2 load that I can open up here. And we're going to, because we're going to be using this save game variable here, we can actually use quite a bit of this code. So I'm actually going to copy over that piece of code there, and come back over to my crystal pickup here, Control V, and let's move it into a nice straight line, no spaghetti code over this way. Okay, and again, and I know I stressed this a lot last time, I'm trying to make sure we focus on keeping these slot names appropriate over here. One thing we don't want to do is open a new level, alright, and we're also not setting that there, okay. We are going to have to change our, I'm pretty sure these are going to get upset with us again, these variables that we created within it, but what we'll do is actually compile, save, and yeah, so they get upset. So like we did last time, so we can actually call this the same thing. So if I right click on this and promote to variable, save, and we've created that there, and just make sure we're connecting that then to the same places. What we're then going to move on to is down here and do the same thing, and I am going to call them the same name as well, so we're going to call that save. Oh, no we're not. So remembering that if you do need to select the top right there, save underscore instance. Oh, I missed instance. Alright, cool. And then we're actually, so the main thing we're going to do, we've made that integer, so now we can actually start swapping that around a little bit. So we're still going through and we're still casting 2D side scroll character, we're still using the save game object, we're checking to see if it exists, and we're then moving through our true false. So are we loading this in? From this, what we're actually going to do though is move on to, sorry, setting our integer that we had. So if I right click on here and we need to, well, I don't want to right click, sorry, drag off of here. I want to get crystal, crystal, and we also want to set crystal. And I keep right clicking now, you got that in my head, set crystal. There. So moving that up, moving this down, and this is going to have a third one running from it over to here as well. So what are we doing in this section here? So we're actually setting how many crystals are going to be picked up when we overlap the object, overlap the box collision. Okay. So all we're actually going to do is really simply go in here and we're going to go int plus. So we can go integer plus integer, and I can have this going. In my mind, I'm going to have this later on. Have this going through to. I'm going to have this going through to. If you pick up 10 crystals, then it's going to allow you to access the portal to move through to the next level. So we're going to have that come into play a little bit later on. So compile and save that, double check for any errors, and I think we are pretty good. So now we're going through, we're setting this, and we're adding one on. One other cool thing that you can do as well is random integer in range. So if we added this in, and say you wanted different amounts of money that you were picking up. So I've done crystal. It fits with the theme of my game. If I wanted to add in something that's monetary, and you wanted random pickups, so then you could go within 0 to 100. Actually, I wouldn't do 0 because then they might be really unlucky and get 0. And that way they're picking up that in that range. But one. Keeping it nice and simple. And so after you pick this up though, you can also do one more thing. So after we've done that, we can go destroy actor. Target is self. So now after they've picked it up, the actor is going to be destroyed. So that code in there should work really well for us. Now what we're moving through to is doing our very last thing that we need to do to make this be successful, and that's actually going to our HUD. So if I minimize this and we go to our UI or widgets, and we've got our HUD here. Super basic HUD at the moment. We're actually going to add in another bar below this here. So if we go to horizontal, on a horizontal box, and then we're going to drag that in, and let's make that the same size. Actually, I don't need to make the same size, do I? How big is this one? Whoops. Let's select that. So that is, doesn't tell us. Alright, let's do a by. Cool. So about that size is good. We need to add a couple more horizontal boxes to this. Actually, Control Z. Don't want to do that yet. Horizontal box over here. And we can go fill, and we can go fill. Now, filling those two up again, you can see that we get our two half sections. And the last thing we do is we add text. So we're adding our basic text in here, and we can center this like that. Whoops, just that typing, we need to type it over here. Enter, so we've got crystal. I should probably select fill. I should probably say crystals, as hopefully there's going to be two. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we need another text in here. Again, we're going to fill and have it in the middle. But you'll notice that I'm not going to change this because we need to actually add some code. We need to bind this text to the amount of crystals that we're picking up, okay? So if we go over here to bind and create binding. So you can see here, I'm going to make a bit of space because we are going to add something in there. And the beauty of this as well, though, is that we do get to copy over our code from last time. So if I go to level 2, over here. Actually, no, it'd be easier to just copy it over from crystal over here. Control C, hard, Control V, Control V, and we've got it in there. And you can see there I didn't even make enough room. So let's connect that to there. We do need this return node, so we need to bring it over here a little bit, and that's how we finish off every time. Okay, so now this is a little bit easier, and you'll notice again that if I compile save, we have upset things again. So super duper easy. What we need to do is, well, first of all, I need to actually set. So from this, we need to delete this, and we're promoting the variable again. Unlike the other window we have, we actually need to change it down here. So getting rid of that and naming that save again. I'm gonna keep doing that because I want to keep it consistent. Last video, I think I was just making it into random kind of. We're not casting 2D side scroller character on this one either, so we need to make sure we get rid of that because we're just going straight from the text to our create save. Create save game object. Like I was just saying though, last time I was kind of just leaving them as variable 0 or whatever, but I think it's a lot better if we do keep it a little bit consistent. So if I delete that, I'm going to right click on here, promote to variable, and then save underscore instance, keep that in there. Alright, so now we're down to actually taking things away down here because we're not actually calculating. We've got that calculating from last time, don't we? So we are getting the crystals. We're not adding anything to them with this, and we're actually not even setting them with this either. We're actually just saving them to game slot and then outputting that into our text that we've got. So if we go to that, and if we go to that, and if we finally get that to go to here, compile save, we'll double check if there's any errors. And also going through as well, I have seen before when I've been copying over this stuff, sometimes I don't know if I'm misclicking or not, I'll get rid of one of these saves. So I just want to double check that those are all good and they do look fine. So if I compile save, and we've done our different pieces there. So now what we can actually do is let's double check if this is working correctly. So if I minimize this, and we're actually going to go to our levels, and we're going to level 1, save selected, and here we are in level 1, moving around with WASD, so I can get, we'll put on this pad here, or this platform here. So if I go to pickups, we've got our pickup. If I go to, which is confusing me, I shouldn't have named it that, crystal pickup, and let's drag this into our level. Let's make sure our Y is 0. Whoops. Press enter. Move up a little bit. Alright, so now when I play the game, you can see here that crystals is there and it's got nothing attached to it at the moment. If I jump over here, and I overlap that, and we don't have anything appearing. So we're going to have to double check why that's happening. Okay, so it wouldn't be a Mr. Laxton video without me making a mistake. So just here, I connected crystals to use index, which is completely incorrect. And we're attaching it to our return node so that it appears straight away. And I was also just thinking as well, if I go to crystal pickup, depending on what you want it to start as, you can actually set this now. So crystal value is 0. And so that's where we should be starting it. And then we're adding one at a time. And that's just where we were copying, pasting our stuff from. So these are the 3 windows that we would have been altering this programming session. And we've got our destroy actors. So now what we can do, after going through and just having a double check of everything, let's give this a test out. So we're over here in our game. Press play. We've got our window that pops out. Now, that's actually kept the crystals from last time that I tested it, and you see there we've gone to 3. So we've got our pickup working, and it's destroying and different things like that. So now what you should be able to do is program your own pickup for the game. So creating your flipbook, going through, programming that, and having it so it saves in a different area. So hopefully this has been helpful and you guys have learned a lot, and hopefully I'll see you for our next video where we start doing some more alterations to our game.